Hey, what's going on, guys? 118 Set Shadow here. Today's market watch is going to be a little smaller than usual. There aren't as many big trends going on, and we'll just be looking at some general concepts that are happening. But in addition to that, we will also be going over a few singles in relation to today's announcements from Bushiroad, which are around Brantgate this time. They've announced a few new items for set 11 in regards to what they're continuously calling the cycle cards, and they also announced the newer variant of Eva today too. So, to start off with the cycle cards, they're doing the same thing that they did with Stoichia, where they are making cards that are revolving around blitz orders for Brantgate, which is going to be weird to see how that's implemented given that Brandgate decks all rely on set orders to begin with. So to add blitz orders on top of that will make decks a bit too heavy on orders versus units, so I'm not sure how that can play out. Ultimately, we'll just have to see what happens, but the bigger news is Eva. So, while I don't have the actual information in front of me, I can tell you that Eva is taking after what we saw so far with Roroa and Chaos, where it's the same format of persona writing on the original, then you bind the original from your soul and rewrite it at the end of turn to perform effects. What the new Eva can do is, on ride, it searches for any research order from your deck, and on attack, it can get you Obscudeid from your deck or your drop. So, those are effectively similar to what the original Eva was capable of. The first skill for Eva was looking at cards to pick up something from the top of your deck, then calling Obscudeid from your deck or hand. The differences are what I stated, and also the new Eva does not cost anything for any of its skills. No counterblast, no soul blast, just the binding of your original Eva. And that's it. So, it's a free card all across the spectrum, giving rise to potential to use multiple different rear guards that have heavier costs for different types of strategies as well. We'll have to see how that goes from here on out. But of course, because the deck kind of gives you the idea that you can just play one copy of the original Fountain of Knowledge Eva, so the original Eva is not likely to see as much of a gain out of this, but Obscudeid will, given that both Evas revolve completely around utilizing Obscudeid. And the triple rare of the grade 3 from set 5 is based $28 right now with 14 listings, and it's $8.48 right now for the triple rare from set 8, the grade 2, 20 listings on that one. It's out of stock for the SP version, and the FFR of the grade 2 is $48 to start off with. Let me take a look at some deeper information here. 2 copies left of the FFR that are $50 and under. The triple rare still has $30 listings among the first 3, and then, yeah, $8.50, $7.50 plus shipping, basically. So the grade 2 Obscudeid is still rising in value ever so slightly, and thanks to this news, I can imagine that it will start to decline in overall listings, but possibly increase in value a little bit more. And from what I mentioned about how Eva can now search any of its research orders upon ride, let's take a look back at some of the more unused orders right now, such as Experiment Successful from set 5. 33 listings available on the double R starting at $3, and there are 7 listings on the SP starting at $25, basically. And if we take a look at listings of the double R, they're consistent $3, $4 for the first 3 that are available right now. So, and there are 33 listings overall, so I would still anticipate that even if you did want to use this card, you would still only use 1 copy. Maybe you could use 2 if you really feel like it, but given that Poison Eva, as she's called, gives range for being able to pull any research orders now, it also makes it so that you don't have to run 4 copies of every single one that you want. Torrential Energy Research. This is a widely unused research order when it comes to EVA, but it is possible to play it because this is intended for Archetype, where it searches for monster cards among the top 5 of your deck. You can add one to hand and then put one into the drop. EVA does use monsters depending on the build, but if the build doesn't use any monsters at all, this card doesn't get played at all. Although, do keep in mind that for the FR specifically, this card has been at $3 for the longest time, but it had always had pretty low quantities. Now it still has only 6 listings and is $9 to start off with. It will probably continue to rise as Archetype continues to get more support, and we are getting some more Kaiju's monsters in set 11 too, so that will add on to the value of this card. Relation Weaver Petralka, the promo card from the BSF this year, is finally available on TCG Player, and at this point, it only has 2 listings available starting at $40, and then there's a $50 listing as well. In terms of sales, this thing has been up since, looks like the 11th, so a little before that, I suppose. But it has been about 2.5 months since the BSF started, so I'm surprised TCG Player didn't get this card up sooner. In any case, it has been selling for $40 more consistently in recent days, but it did start out at $10. It is getting reprinted in Festival Collection 2023, just keep that in mind when you go to purchase it, but this one is hot stamped and not foil, whereas the Festival Collection one should be a foil. Moving into Lyrical Set 1, I do want to talk about a few base rarity cards that are seeing increases. Like Earns Correct Support Leona, one of the bigger Earns Correct Support cards, is seeing an increase in its market price where it is starting to sell for above $1 on several listings. And overall, players are grabbing at this one wherever they can, although there was a lull between the end of May and just now. But listings right now are all pretty consistently 50 cents to above $1 depending on who you're buying it from. And if you want more than one copy, usually you're going to have to look at above $1, with the exception of one listing that I just saw. Tranquil Affection Elvira. This is a Willista support card where it lets you draw a card if your Vanguard is Prismagica Willista, the grade 3, and if you played an Everlasting Sapphire. Now, the thing about this card is while its market price is increasing, there are still a number of copies still available for 50 cents towards $1. And the other thing to keep in mind is that many of these cells have multiple quantities that are going out. Someone bought 25 copies for 79 cents, 12 copies for 44 cents, 33 copies for 40 cents, and more recently 13 copies for 25 and 50 cents a piece. Despite that, there are still 32 listings available for this card's double R. So while it looks like some players are trying to buy this card out to increase its price, basically, I guess they're investing in it as a penny stonk. But there are still so many copies of this available because I think Lyrical Melody Set 1 has maybe the same print ratio as Set 3, where there's just so much of it printed, you really have to dedicate yourself to buy this card out if you want to try and get its price to increase. Same thing with Prismagica Willista Triple Rare, where there was a recent listing that sold 12 copies for 49 cents and the market price is going up, but you can see here that there are listings. There's one listing at 50 cents, 137 copies. And then there are more with 16, 30, and then a full play set of copies, all around 50 cents right now. So unless you really dedicate yourself to buying this card out, you're not going to be increasing this card's price way too high. And I can tell you right now that even if you are buying the high listing rates that are available here, there is likely more that some of these bigger vendors will have anyway, which means that you bought them out expecting it to sell out and it didn't actually sell out. But that's the risk you play when trying to buy out singles. Ophelia, also Ballista support, but from set 2. This one is just off the market right now. There is only one listing left for the triple rare, and there are no listings left for the SP right now. The one listing left for the triple rare is $35 for a full play set, and it has sold at $25 as of late 4 times now. Before that, it was mostly a $15 sell. So if you have more copies of Ophelia, between the triple R and the SP, you have leverage to sell this card. The last sell for the for the SP, 4 copies at $30. So there is desire for this card right now, as Ballista is continuing to see value increases. Then there's Earnest Stare Iveta, which is a friend support card from set 2. The common version still has a lot of listings available, and we're starting at 4 cents, but if we take a look at actual listings, yeah, we're okay. 10 cents and 16 cents, and then even 20 cents when it comes to most of these listings that have more quantities. But it's sold out for the holo rare version, and those were selling. One sold recently for $5, and before that it was on the market for $2 to $3 from the looks of it. Yeah, basically. So if you have foil versions of Iveta, they're going. You have plenty of room to sell this card. And to wrap up today's Market Watch, we are going to be going over a list of holo rares on TCG Player. See where the prices are holding and which cards are really just kind of big right now. And we can already see triggers take the top slot. And the first trigger to take the top slot is not from set 1, it's from set 2. It's Alpac, the holofoil front trigger, which currently has a market price of $9.47 and only 4 listings starting at $12. Disma is second place right now, with $7 as the base listing among 12 listings that are available. Flinty Slasher's the next one at $6 with a market price of $8.47, 18 listings on that one. The Plant Token from set 5, the holofoil, only has 2 listings left, $9. Then, just kind of going off here, we've got Afternoon Eva, which is the grade 1, Steamskara Malnigal, which is the heal trigger from set 1, Draco Impero, the front trigger from set 2, then the grade 0 Eva is next. You've got Natalia, who's the front trigger for Dark States, Tectian, Nobilium, the heal trigger for Brantgate from set 1, so that's a vanilla, Amazement Magician, Best Harvest, which is $6 base, but then market price is still under $5. Barbizon, Parama, Violate Dragon, Twin Buckler. Eva is just consistently up here in terms of its holofoils. We've already gone through all 3 holofoils on this one. And then you've also got Sigh of Relief Fabolio, which is a vanilla heal from Lyrical set 2. You have Calyx Salvia, which is a plant support from set 5. Cherish Smile Larissa from Lyrical set 2, which is a friend support card. Marin is up here. Little Sage Marin is on the front page at $4.29 for market price and $4 for the base listing among 6 of them. Second, this one fell out pretty hard from what I last saw. It's got 18 listings and starts at $150, although its market price is $4.29 right now. And to wrap up the first page is Spiritual Body Condensation at 29 listings with $3.45. So yeah, while holo rares are not obscenely priced, they are pretty high up there. And I've said this a number of times when comparing rares with their holofoil versions or commons with their holofoil versions. Be sure to check out those mid rarities. Many times we've seen the low rarity of certain cards exceed the mid rarity in several of my market watches already. Like I talked about Spiritual Body Condensation around the time I started these market watches. I talked about Alpec a little while ago. Be sure to pay attention to those mid rarities when you're looking at price increases on the low end, because you can find some hidden gems as a result of those sorts of misses. Thank you guys for watching today. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys later.